All right, guys, there is a lot of money actually being made in crypto right now. And if you haven't yet picked it up yet, something is changing in the crypto market. And there is money being made. And the problem is that if you're looking at the old crypto charts, and when I say the old crypto charts, if you're looking at Bitcoin, or if you're looking at ETH, or if you're looking at, geez, that ETH chart looks bad, it's just been accumulating since February 2026. Or if you're looking at the Solana chart, you're not really picking up the big changes in the crypto market. And there is a lot of money being made in the market right now. But if you're stuck in the old ways, you're not picking up the changes. Even if you're looking at the Bitcoin dominance chart, you're looking at the old chart, you're looking at the old metrics. And if you look at the old metrics, you're not really noticing the change that's taking place. And it's a massive change that's taking place because a lot of people are actually making a lot of money. Just look at this 1 month chart over here. If you looked at the Bitcoin dominance chart, you wouldn't have picked up a thing. If you would have looked at the Bitcoin chart, you wouldn't have picked up a thing. If you would have looked at the Ethereum chart, you wouldn't have picked up a thing. But when you look at it like this, and you look at the 1 month chart, you start realizing there's actually a lot of money that's being made in crypto right in front of your eyes right now. NEAR is up 100%, Zcash is up 73%, TON is up 50%, VVV is up 92%, Hype's up 50%, Injective's up 58%, WorldCoin is up 52%. There's a lot of money being made in crypto right now. So you can complain and you can be bored about the fact or say that there's nothing actually happening in crypto, but there's a lot actually happening if you know exactly where to look. Now, today I'm going to show you exactly where to look. Luckily for us, we've been in the right place at the right time and we've got all the receipts to prove it, but I want to show you guys where to look, what's actually running, because there's really a tale of two sides here. One side of the tale is people waiting for Bitcoin and ETH to move and the ETH BTC chart to start running. And the other side of it is people that are celebrating 2x's, 3x's, 5x's, and even 10x's in a month. And I really want to spend some time talking about that. So today we are not talking about the war and we're not talking about the peace deal, because I don't know about you, but I'm completely tired of every single day reporting about the fact that there may be an end to the war, maybe an end to the war. Let's just get on with it. Let's just make money in crypto, because that's why we came here. And there are people making money and there's no more excuses. Let's go out there and make that money and look at the narratives that are actually running and learn how to pinpoint them. That's what I'm going to show you in today's show. I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be a big show. I think it's a different show. I'm tired of doing war shows and trying to speculate as to when Marco Rubio is going to tell us that there's a peace deal and when Trump is going to send another missile. Meanwhile, right in front of our eyes, fucking things are moving. NEAR's up 100%. I'm tired of war. I'm tired of war narrative shows. We're going to do crypto narrative shows and we're going to go back to the roots of actually making money. If you're with me, smash the like button. Let's get the show on the road, guys. Good evening. Last night, the USA once again said that they were going to pass a peace deal with with Iran. Iranian mediators and negotiators said that there is no peace deal, and the Americans said that there is a peace deal. Okay, I'm tired of that shit. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not doing it anymore. Let's talk about crypto. Let's talk about making money. Someone said let's talk about Ethereum. We're not talking about Ethereum, because if you're watching Ethereum, you're watching the wrong metrics. You're watching the wrong metrics. There is money to be made. There's a ton of cash being made by everyone. Just look at these charts over here. Just look at this. This is the Zcash chart. If you would have got into Zcash in March, you would have been up 216%. If you would have got into NEAR in May, you would have been up 123%. If you would have got into, what's this? Hyperliquid, I think this is. Hyperliquid in January, you would have been up 200%. If you got into this one over here, if you would have got into Venice token, I don't even know how much you would have been up if you had just called the narrative right. Now, lucky for us, we've got the receipts to prove that we've called it absolutely right. Here's the table. Here's the receipts. I'll leave a table for you to have a look at with links to every single time that we called it in Frontrunners. Every single time we said, buy Zcash, buy this, buy that. Okay. You can really see every single time just bought. My just in case Zcash bag has $150, now nearly $200. Every single one of these, we actually have receipts, and I'll actually show you. If you go down to the bottom of this, if you go down to where we are today, jump to present, and you just look at what our portfolio looks like, it is absolutely flying. So there is money to be made if you know exactly to be made. I did say earlier in Frontrunners, I said, I must say, I've never, ever had such a good trading streak, not actually even in a bull market. Not even in a bull market have I had such a good trading streak. NEAR, Zcash, Hyperliquid, Venice, all absolutely flying. So there is money to be made in crypto. the thing is that if you're watching all the old metrics, and when I say the old metrics, in the old market, it was just Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin went up, the market went up. And if Bitcoin went down, the market went down. Then you've missed the whole run. Even if you're watching the ETH chart or the 4-year cycle, right? If you're looking at the 4-year cycle, if you're watching Bitcoin, you're stuck in this 4-year cycle. And for now, the 4-year cycle continues and Bitcoin actually continues to go down. At the same time, you can see the S&P basically starts moving up. Ethereum's got a big share, its big share of problems, right? If you look at it from February this year, pretty much Ethereum's done absolutely nothing since February this year. And they have a lot of problems. The foundation, the researchers have pretty much left the foundation. Even a lot of the researchers have left the foundation. Vitalik came out and he basically redefined the role of the foundation. I'll do a whole video on this on Crypto Insider. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do a video on Crypto Insider about the ETH and the ETH crisis. If you're holding ETH, you probably want to watch that. Solana also has its fair share of problems. If you look at the Solana chart is pretty dead. I mean, that's the ETH BTC chart, just following the normal 4-year cycle. Sol, I don't even know if Sol has a heartbeat since meme coins died. I mean, Sol basically, look at it. Look at the number of transactions. Look at the number of users. And you know where all those users have basically gone? They've gone to Hyperliquid. So it's not like all those users are actually still here. But they're just not on Solana. They're just at Hyperliquid. And so right now, we have a situation where altcoins are actually moving if you know which altcoins to actually be at. So I want to say that on this, we called Near, we called Injective, we called Zcash, we called Hype, we called VVV, we called WorldCoin. That's on the top 100 coins. We didn't catch every one of them. We didn't catch Ondo. We didn't catch Railgun. We did catch a lot of the other coins that are basically sitting here. And I think that the reason why we caught them is because we identified early that there is a narrative shift happening in crypto. We identified really early, and I had conversations with many people in the office, and I said, I'm actually thinking of changing the name of Crypto Banter to Banter, and I'm thinking of changing the name of the other channel, Crypto Insider, to The Insider. And the reason why I thought of doing that is I actually wanted to show you this thing over here. So I made this video today on Crypto Insider. You should actually go and look at it. That's a video that I made on Crypto Insider. It's called The Dark Side of the SpaceX IPO. And it talks about how SpaceX is going to rip the liquidity out of the markets and basically crash Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft, and everything else. Now, that I dropped on Crypto Insider. It's got nothing to do with crypto. But the thing is that right now, crypto is becoming the rails. Now, if this was the launch of the internet, we wouldn't be calling this show the Internet Banter. We would just call it Banter. And that's exactly the narrative that's basically happening in crypto now. I think 𝗬𝗏𝗪 actually said it pretty well. He said, he said, there is no more crypto. There are good companies that drive value to their token, and that's it. And that's exactly what I think is going on in crypto. That's the narrative shift and the vibe shift that we currently have in crypto. In the old days, it was about an asset class. It was about this thing called crypto. That was the cycle of 2017. It was the cycle of 2021. It was maybe even the later cycle, the one that we had in 2023, 24. That was the cycle of talking about crypto, talking about layer ones, talking about whatever it is. But now the narrative is completely different. Now it's like crypto is the rails, blockchain is the rails. And then there are either good companies or not good companies. The good companies achieve product market fit. The not so good companies don't achieve product market fit. And that's really what's happening in crypto right now. And I was very early to spot that. And that's why if you look at our portfolio, and I published a portfolio on Twitter for everyone to see. I'll show it to you. This portfolio that I'm going to show you now, which I published on Twitter on the weekend, Bitcoin, Hype, Sol, still holding my Sol, Zcash, Canton, Near, Aerodrome, Jito, Venice, Tibber, Tau, Pump, Sui, WorldCoin, CRV. That's the same portfolio that has been in Frontrunners for a long, long, long time. I mean, you guys are seeing it now on Twitter because that's when I got around to tweeting it. But you can kind of see that this has been my portfolio in Frontrunners for a hell of a long time, right? And the reason why it is because I basically picked up this narrative change. The narrative change basically says, stop thinking about this as crypto. Stop thinking about this as layer ones and dexes and whatever else. And think about this much more as good companies with a good revenue and buyback model and good use cases, great, buy them. And if not, and if they're not, sell them. By the way, I see that I forgot to welcome everybody. Welcome if you've just joined. I was so taken up by the war. If you're here, do me a favor, just smash the like button. It really helps me get distribution. I'm going to show you all the tokens that are moving, why they're moving. See, there's like 700 people here, 111 likes. Can we get the numbers up, hardest? Can we get the numbers up? You'll notice that when the likes go up, the number of viewers will also go up. You'll see that. It's like cause and effect. Anyway, so going back to it, I identified this narrative pretty early, and that's why one of my biggest bags, in fact, today I'm actually holding more Hyperliquid than I'm holding Solana, right? Literally, I'm holding more Hyperliquid than Solana. Why? Because the product has an amazing use case. What's the use case? You can basically trade anything at any time, even when the markets are closed, in a decentralized fashion, with low fees. And this product really does have product market fit. So much product market fit that here it is. And you look at the revenue that this product is doing. It's doing $40 million in revenue every single day. Now, I don't care what you want to call it, but that is a good company. It's a good company in real world terms. Why? Because it has an unbelievable use case. It has a good total addressable market. It has a very addictive product. The product makes fees. And it is therefore priced better than the biggest crypto exchanges. If you think about Coinbase has a market cap of $50 billion fully diluted. Hyperliquid has a market cap of $60 billion fully diluted. So what the market's telling you is that if you have a good crypto company or a good crypto protocol, the market's willing to give you a valuation that is much better than a traditional real world company. Because if you think about it like this, Coinbase, which is arguably the biggest exchange that's regulated and listed, because Binance is not listed, right? Coinbase has a market cap of about $50 billion. Hyperliquid has a market cap of about $60 billion. Why? Because the market's kind of saying to you the following. We love this new thing called crypto. The reason why we love this new thing called crypto is because the protocol revenue is basically shared with the users. There's no management, there's no expenses. I don't have to wait for Brian Armstrong to tell me when he's going to declare a dividend. I don't have to count on the fact that Brian Armstrong is doing a good or bad job actually managing the company. We've got this new world, and in this new world, there are good protocols and good companies, or good companies and protocols, and they share revenue with their user base by buying back. Like in this case, Hyperliquid actually takes. I mean, just look at these numbers here, right? So here they bought they generated $5 million worth of fees. They bought back $50 million worth of fees in USD. I'm trying to show you here that you remove the management layer and you create much more efficient companies, and the market actually rewards you for this. And as a result, if you look at the chart of Hyperliquid, what you realize is that Hyperliquid isn't in a bear market at all. In fact, this is comparative to the best companies of the NASDAQ. In fact, much better than the best companies of the NASDAQ. Let's look at some other things, right? So I think what the market's telling you, if you have a product and the product has a good product market fit and you have a good fee model and you have a good narrative, the market will support you. And then you're in a bull market, you're not in a bear market. And I think so while everybody is waiting for this old season crypto bull market, if you're waiting for this crypto bull market, right, then you have a bit of a problem. You can't be waiting for the bull market. You should find the good companies that are generating money and treat them like good company investments, just as you would a company on the NASDAQ. Let me give you another example, right? One of the big narratives in crypto that's having a good bull market right now is privacy. And the reason why privacy is having a good run right now is because we need privacy if crypto is going to succeed. It's as simple as that. And as a result, if we don't have privacy, crypto ain't never going to succeed. Satoshi actually said it himself. He said he would have built in ZK proofs into Bitcoin if he knew how to do it. But at the time, the technology wasn't around to actually do it, and so he couldn't do it. But he acknowledged the fact that you actually need privacy if you want blockchains to perform. I mean, a lot of you don't know why. Hardest, do you know why every Bitcoin transaction is transparent? Why you can always see all wallet balances at the same time, and why you can't do private transactions? Because that's the only way that you can prove that there's not more than 21 million Bitcoin on the network. If you go to every single wallet and you count how many Bitcoin are in each wallet, that should give you 21 million. And so that's with every transaction, what the Bitcoin algorithm effectively does is go to each wallet and make sure and it tallies up and says, okay, there's still 21 million Bitcoin, there's still 21 million Bitcoin, there's still 21 million Bitcoin. And that's why we didn't have privacy, because then you'd have to hide some of the Bitcoin and then you couldn't say that. So the next narrative that is running is Zcash. And I was watching this podcast on Bankless this weekend. This is 𝗏. I want you guys to actually watch this.
Called the last PBE. The major thing that crypto has forgotten, and I think a lot of the institutionalization and whatnot stems from that. So like the way we describe this is, at first we had to prove that crypto worked, right? So that was Bitcoin, and that it could be used and that cryptographic money was possible. Second was Vitalik was like, actually, this should be programmable. We should be able to do things with this. And so then Ethereum came. And then Anatoly came and said, actually, that's good, but we also need to make it scale. And then kind of the final phase that everybody somewhat forgot about because they were too busy legitimizing that crypto you can be used for good, not necessarily for crime, is that people slept on the privacy part. But now, especially when Trump is president and let's say the regulatory apparatus is much more friendly, we have a shot here, we call it 1,000 days to win back freedom.
So we're talking about the entire privacy narrative. And of course, privacy is a massive thing. If crypto is actually going to work, we actually need privacy, right? So if we need privacy, if the narrative needs to work and we actually need privacy, then if you invest in privacy plays, there's a product market fit. If people actually start to use them, and I'll show you here what the usage statistics look like. That is the Zcash shielded supply. Now, the shielded supply means the number of coins that are actually shielded and that you can't see the addresses. You can see that that's growing. That means that this product has a big product market fit, right? And that's why everybody's starting to pay attention. 𝗕𝗧𝗏 from Altcoin, they went and accumulated a position on the open market. So that's why Zcash has pretty much been in a bull market for the last couple of months. You can't say that Zcash has actually been in a bear market. It's actually been in a bull market, right? Okay, now the big question is, if you have Zcash and you want to swap your Zcash for Bitcoin or for something else or for ETH or whatever else, where the hell do you do it? Well, I mean, you could go onto an exchange. The only problem is if you do go onto an exchange, you've ruined your privacy because you've taken private coins and you've put them onto an exchange where you're getting KYC'd, or when the exchange can track who you are, and then you're not private anymore, right? So you now got a new use case for something that allows you to trade your Zcash into something that is into something else, and to do it on chain without actually going into a KYC'd entity. And that is the only way to preserve privacy from the beginning to the end. And that layer is called near, or near intents, right? So near started off as this AI blockchain, and it is an AI blockchain if you want to call it that, but it's not about AI blockchain. It's about this product, which is called near intents. Near intents is effectively, I want to call it a DEX. I don't know if a DEX is not the right word. It's a exchange. It's where you can swap one coin. You can see I can take my Zcash and I can swap it into near, and I can do this on chain without actually going onto an exchange and breaking the privacy protocol. And so that's why I kept saying, if Zcash is going to run, then near is also going to run. And I kept going in Frontrunners. I kept saying, I just want to see if I can find if I can find you these things, these points. I was like, you have to buy. I've got to try and find this for you guys. Hold on. I have to find this. Okay, I mean, look, I kept saying, if Zcash is going to work, near has to start running. And then we finally got a near run. You can actually see now near is at, look at that chart. Wow, that chart is amazing. When that chart, if and when that chart breaks $3, that thing, there's only air there. And that's the whole near intense thesis. You can hear it here from Ilya. Ilya is the founder of Near. He's the guy that Jensen Huang from NVIDIA actually touched his leg. Do you remember at the NVIDIA event?
I think the thesis Arthur outlined, which is, we need privacy on chain. And I would actually double down on that. If we want blockchain to be used in day-to-day, without privacy, that's not going to happen, right? Actually, privacy is the mass adoption enabler, right? If I'm paying for coffee in the coffee shop, I don't want the coffee shop to know how much money I have. And I don't want everyone else in the world know I just paid in this coffee shop, right? I don't want the next time I'm paying there's somebody waiting for me there, right? So privacy is effectively the enabler for the adoption of crypto, stable coins, and other assets as money in day-to-day in actual transactions. And so what confidential intent is really our approach to not just, Zcash offers obviously like a sovereign, government resistant private asset, which is amazing, and we really need this. What we wanted to bring is actually how do you transfer, trade, pay, earn, and do everything else confidentially and with all the assets that we support, right? So confidential intent is effectively a private shard on top of Near. So
that's when they actually created Near Intent, and Near Intent obviously has a massive product market fit. As a result, the fact that it has a good product market fit, the product is actually making money. Here are the stats. Let me quickly get you some stats so that you can actually see the stats. So they've got a $30 million accumulated fees. Their 30-day fees are $2 million or $3 million, and they're starting to make actual money here, right? So that's another one that's actually moving. Again, it's not only Near and Zcash. Let's talk about other things like Railgun. I don't know if you guys have been looking at Rail. Let's just see if we can find that here for you guys. But Railgun also, it's a privacy play. It's a privacy play on Ethereum, and you can see that this one's also had an unbelievable run. I don't know if you remember, but also a few days ago, or the last time that we spoke about Frontrunners on the show, I said, look guys, join Frontrunners because I'm going to drop a gem in Frontrunners, which is a privacy gem, and I didn't want to drop it on the show because that product or that token was so illiquid that if I would have said it on the show, it would have pumped and then a lot of people would have actually got wrecked. So I said, I'm not going to actually show it on the show. And I said, look, if you want to join Frontrunners, you could. I made a deal that if you were a returning member, you could join for free, and if you were a new member, you could join for $99. And then I dropped a call in the group. Again, it's another privacy call. That privacy call is a token called Octra. And I think you can see it. You can see it over here. It's a token called Octra. Now you can see that. We dropped it. I don't remember exactly. We dropped it probably somewhere here. We dropped it. And what you can see is that since then, this token has really moved. Now, what is Octra? Octra is a play in what they call fully homomorphic encryptions. What is fully homomorphic encryptions? Basically, it allows computations to happen from encrypted data. Okay? It sounds like a mouthful. Let me try and explain it to you guys a bit better. Imagine that you have a bunch of medical records, and you cannot share what's in the medical records with anyone, not even this computer. But you want to be able to work out the statistics around all these medical records. So how do you give people an encrypted data and allow them to calculate in the encrypted data and give you the answers without actually reading the material? That's what they call a fully homomorphic encryption. You can do computations on encrypted data. And it's a massive use case, and that's pretty much where Octra is playing. Now that, again, was one of the calls that we actually made in Frontrunners. I don't know if, let's just see. It was one of the big calls that we actually made in Frontrunners. I said that I was going to give a call, and I actually, if we took here we go. That's the OCT trade. Here we go. I gave the OCT trade. So again, what I'm trying to show you is if you have a good narrative and you have a product and you have product market fit, actually there is a bull market in crypto. And right now there's a lot of products with product market fit. I'll give you another one, which is, it's in the realm of privacy and AI. And that's Venice. So if you look at VVV, VVV has had an incredible run. VVV is a token called Venice token. What is Venice token? Venice token is effectively, it is a cop out, or it's a way out for people that don't want ChatGPT. Eric Fuess actually said 3 million registered users achieved, 3 million users that didn't want ChatGPT to spy on them because you don't give it your data, 3 million who wish to avoid the intellectual degradation of paternalistic censorship, 3 million sovereigns avoiding a future of serfdom. We don't store or log your prompts. We don't package your personal life to be sold to advertisers. So I don't know about you, but often when I have chats with my ChatGPT, I know that I'm giving ChatGPT like crazy amounts of info about myself, like a lot, bad. Don't ever want that leaked to the government or to anyone. And so I almost feel like and I know that that's getting into the hands of Sam Altman, and I know that Sam Altman is one day going to give it to the government. I just know it's going to happen. Everyone knows it's going to happen. It takes one lawsuit where they ask for your ChatGPT data, and that's it. Now, VVV, which is a business which via quite a complex model, a dual token model, has actually worked out a way around that. And it's a privacy first AI platform. It powers a decentralized network where user data prompts are kept private, in contrast to the centralized AI services. So that's a product with a real use case. And as 𝗙𝗏𝗡 says, they've now got 3 million users. And if you look at the revenue here, Venice's current annual recurring revenue, just get this, annual recurring revenue of $60 million for a protocol that is so young, with projections suggesting that it could reach $260 million. I mean, $260 million annual recurring revenue. That number is absolutely absurd. Again, you get that, you have a bull market. Regardless of what Bitcoin's doing, you have a bull market, right? So, and it's not the only one. I think virtuals, I think that there's a whole AI narrative that's currently happening. First it was Venice, then it was Near that actually exploded. And then I went out there and I said, if Venice and Near actually exploded, I have all the receipts to show you guys that this is something that we did. I'm actually going to take you to it. I have to just show you how spot on our trading has been here. It's been ridiculous. I've never had a run this good. Not even in the ultimate bull markets, right? So here, I basically said, let's just go back to it. Where is it? Let's go back here. I have to find this for you guys. Long story short, I basically said, look, I'm adding WorldCoin. The reason why I'm adding WorldCoin is pretty obvious. AI is running. The most important coin in AI is WorldCoin because it gives you proof of humanness. And it's the only one that's actually affiliated to ChatGPT or to OpenAI in some shape or form. So I bought it, right? And we bought it. I said added some more. I added some more at 29 cents. I had been buying it quite a bit. And then it popped. And now today, I think WorldCoin is trading at, let's have a look here. I think it was trading at 40 cents when I last looked. Again, good coin, good use case, AI, good narrative is trading at 40 cents. If you look at that chart is, wow, that chart is primed. Same thing with when I looked at World, I said okay, what is the one AI token that hasn't yet run that should probably have run? And that was 𝗕𝗃. And that was at 10 cents. I kept saying to guys, I'm buying 𝗕𝗃, I'm adding 𝗕𝗃. Here it is. You can actually see all the receipts. Got to show you all the receipts because a lot of people will say to you, oh, they called this. But here are the receipts, guys. Here. Also, I'm adding to my 𝗕𝗃 bag. That was yesterday. I'm adding to my 𝗕𝗃 bag. And again, now 𝗕𝗃 basically popped and it was at 10 cents when we started and now it's basically at 12 cents, right? So there are bull markets out there and they are happening. Another place where I am now buying or where I've now put down an investment is TON. The reason why I've put money on TON is because the TON blockchain's been neglected for a long time. The founder's been busy. He's been in house arrest or restricted movement, whatever you call it. Now 𝗕𝗃𝗪, who's the founder, basically is back. And he's basically said, look, I don't want a foundation. I'm going to actually run this thing myself. And then now the first thing he did was fix the TON blockchain technologically. And I think that what he's going to do is he's going to focus a lot of time now on getting TON right. The thesis for TON remains the same, right? If it is the Telegram blockchain and Telegram has 1 billion users, then I don't know, can you discount that? Can you afford not to have that in your portfolio? You can't. There it is, 400 billion validators across 6 continents. TON's going to be one of the most decentralized with everything else. You just can't do it. Another one which, to be honest, I'm holding is collector. It's cards. It's a bit of a smaller cap. This is that company that stores your physical playing cards and stores it in a vault and then gives you a token to represent it so you can trade the token while keeping the collector part safe. Now, why do I like this protocol? Because the migration of real world assets onto chain will require a set of custodians that have unique IP. And this is one of those companies that can be one of those custodians that actually does have this unique IP. So that's why this is one of those ones. It's got a good product market fit and it actually has a bull run. So I think that's what I wanted to spend time on today. I wanted to say, look, yes, of course, the markets have been hard, but if you actually have been in a certain number of tokens, the markets have actually been a lot better. We have been in those tokens. We have all the receipts to prove it. What I'll do, just so that you can't access it. Ooh, because if I do give you a link, because you're not a member of the Discord, you won't be able to get the calls. So, I mean, you know what we'll do? We'll do the following. We'll leave a link to the spreadsheet below so that you can go and verify all the receipts. If I'll also do the following, I'll go back and I'll say that if you are linked to the spreadsheet, you were a member of Frontrunners, I'll open that thing again, which says that you can come back for free. So you can come back for free for a month. And if you're new, then you can pay $99. Come back for free or get 50% of your first month, pay $99. If you don't like it, you can leave. But join because, yeah, someone says they can't see. They can't, yes. But they will be able to see because they'll just sign up and then they can see every single one of those calls. Sign up for a month. It's either free or you get paid $99. And if you don't like it, you can leave. But if we carry on this run and you start getting these calls in this kind of market, then it really makes it worth your while to actually do that. Also, you can see later on, we're doing a session with Peter Brunt and all our Frontrunners. There's a lot actually going on in Frontrunners. Okay, one or two other public service announcements. The first thing is BTCC. That's the exchange, the crazy exchange, where you can deposit X amount and they give you a 10% deposit bonus. Then you can just trade your deposit bonus. That's called BTCC. It's a non-KYC exchange. So you can go and sign up, get free 10% trading bonus. I think it's like the best deal in crypto. Put in 10,000, get the $1,000, etc. Then, yeah, I think sign up to Frontrunners. If you're not farming the variational points, the variational is like the Hyperliquid, right? Go and do it. Just remember to put in your code OMNIRUN here, because then if you do that, you see, when you connect your wallet, it says it's closed beta. Just put in the code OMNIRUN. When you do that, then you get a 15% boost on your points. So if you're trading here, you're going to get points, and then you're going to get an airdrop just like Hyperliquid. I mean, this is a great venue to trade. So I've just authenticated a wallet so we could trade together. All right, kids. Good show. I think you guys did a great job. I think you guys listened extremely well today. For those of you who were taking notes, I think your notes look fantastic. I think you guys did really well today. I'll see you again tomorrow. Until then. Oh, wait, stop. Did I talk about the video that I made on Crypto Insider?
Not yet.
Well, I made a video. Hold on, I made a video. I did talk about it when I said that I think that Elon Musk can actually crash them. I mean, that SpaceX is actually going to crash markets. Remember that SpaceX is coming to, SpaceX is doing an IPO, and the SpaceX IPO is happening on the 12th of June. But remember that markets are forward-looking, right? So because markets are forward-looking, that could actually crash all the markets. I made a whole video here. It's called The Dark Side of the SpaceX IPO. Actually, a really good video because I actually break down why it's so good. Someone says you have already talked about this. Andrea, I'm not talking about this. It's called marketing, bro. Andrea, you listen well, bro. Okay. Did Sheldon did a tutorial today.
Yeah.
He did a tutorial today.
Yeah.
Bro, who does a tutorial on a Tuesday? Who does a tutorial on a Tuesday? Who does that? Run's interns are the best. Oh God, are you one of the interns? Oct could easily do 50x. I don't think it'll do a 50x, but I think it's got an easy 3x. I've got to be honest. See Fefe is in my DMs. Fefe, bro, you should be in the chat, not in the DMs. What else is going on? I mean, let's just look around. Let's just look around us here. Like, anything else going on? Sure. My feed. Is your feed also like this? Like, since crypto is not like crypto anymore, like, do you also get these random things, people eating hamburgers on your feed? I don't know. All right, guys. Oh, someone said Ondo found a death. You didn't mention. Yeah, it is quite sad. One of the founders of Ondo, at the age of 32, he passed away. Yeah, I don't know. I don't actually know what happened. Yeah, it's a pity. Here we go. I think Andre should be the one doing the show. Yeah, the Ondo founder passed away. Unfortunately, 32 years old. Ondo Finance, Nathan Ellman has died. We don't know how he passed away. We know it was sudden. Rest in peace, brother. Rest in peace. Thank you for your contribution to this industry. It was a big contribution. All right, my friends. See you guys again tomorrow. Until then, trade well, my friends.